We rolling?
Yep.
So we were talking about rules and structure that we can incorporate to help Zeus start to identify more as a follower. Because I think the big problem that we have here in this situation is he considers himself to have the same authority as the humans. In some cases, maybe more authority. And because he's declared himself in charge of security, he's disagreeing whenever dogs pass by. So I look for ways that we can add a little bit of structure to routine day-to-day tasks. And one of the rules I suggested was to not let Zeus in or out of the door without sitting first. Now inside, we're on the same level. Outside this particular house, we have 3 steps. So he would have to sit down there before I let him in. In this purpose, I'm gonna actually not only include that rule, but I wanna include a wait scenario. So I want to basically introduce a wait command so he understands when I go to a door or I'm in the car and my human says wait, I have to sit there and wait until they say here or come or whatever the command is. Zeus. So I'm going to ask him to sit first. I'm going to do it by raising my hand. Sit. Zeus, sit. Wait. Yeah, if you want to maybe come over around here. Wait. Zeus. Here. Here. Sit. Here. And then I would let him have the treat and say the word here, and then I would let him go do his business. Now this is a little bit different than normal because I'm actually going out the door first. Sometimes you're just going to be opening the door and letting him out, and you're not actually going to be going out yourself. So in that case, you just open, you can just say wait, and then open the door. Now, opening a big movement like that often is a trigger that causes the dog to want to run outside. So if that's the case, you might need to practice this with him on a leash so that you can prevent him from doing that, put him back into a sit. But I mean, one of the things you do is every time I go through this door, I would make him sit. You make him start closing it or disagree if he tries to come through it. But I want to have a sit, sit. So that big movement is hard for dogs to resist. So what I would do is I would give the hold command or the wait command first. So when he comes here, I put him in sit, wait, and then release or go or whatever your one-word command is that he is able to go. So you're gonna do the same thing whether you go out or whether he goes out. You're gonna use the same terminology, wait, release, or whatever it is. But he shouldn't be able to do what he just did there and run out himself because a dog walks by the yard. So the more that he has to build up, I'll move this way because it's probably backlit if I'm standing right there in front of it. The more that he has to wait and look to you guys for permission in all sorts of scenarios that are easy. This is particularly easy because he goes in and out the door a whole bunch of times. Now, when there's a dog outside, that makes it more challenging. But by adding structure on this, we build him, get him used to doing this sort of thing, which that muscle memory will make it easier for him to do it in other capacities. We started talking about a little off camera about petting with a purpose. I asked the dog to sit or to lay down before I pet it. Now it's easy when we're in the house, we're watching TV, we ask the dog to sit and there's no distractions. Sure, I'll sit, and then I get rewarded. Well, once we do that enough, then when I say sit, the dog just is accustomed to sitting and giving us what we want. So one thing does lead to another, and you can put your dog in a position to succeed by helping it practice the steps you're going to want it to do later in a more advanced scenario by practicing individual steps. Practicing a wait exercise at the door when there's no particular impetus to go in or out helps him just get used to it and practice doing it and gets him used to looking to the humans for permission. So this is how we can add a little bit of structure in day-to-day tasks. Now don't consider just the door. I do this for feeding food, for letting them go up or down stairs, for going in or out of the car, for getting to play with a bone or a toy, or if we're playing fetch, I make the dog sit and wait, and then I throw it, and then they bring it back, and they have to sit again. So my game, my rules. So whatever you're doing with your dog, look for ways, how can I incorporate a little bit of structure, ask the dog to wait a little bit and wait for me to give them permission before they do it when it's things that the dog really wants to do. Now if it's brushing their teeth, he could care less. But if it's something like, going for a walk or going for a ride or eating my food or doing something that he gets a lot of excitement for, the more structure and more we ask him to pause, the better control he's going to be able to exhibit at those times where we need him to when he sees a dog on TV or he sees a dog passing by across the street when we're on a walk. That control is what's going to enable him to stop dragging us down the street and instead control himself.